guys, welcome back, and episode 2 of the Mind Mastery series is finally here, and today we're going to be talking about patience. And if you don't already know, this series is about looking at the emotions that you have to sort of control and deal with when you are trading the financial markets, and that could be any form of financial markets: investing, trading, forex, commodities, you name it. These are things that will crop up no matter what you're looking at. And with patience, look, you've probably heard when you're young and grown up from your parents, patience, and you have to wait, be patient with that. So what does it actually mean when it comes to trading or financial markets for that matter? Well, I could sit here and just throw off some cool phrases or some analogies, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you 5 points that we are going to cover in this video of patience, and from there we can look at how these relate to trading and how perhaps controlling them not off the bat, because that does take experience, but what it will do is allow you to be aware of where patience comes into trading and investing, and then you can use it to become a better trader, a better investor, or just better at dealing with the financial markets. So with that being said, the 5 points that we are going to cover are patience before entering a trade. That's number 1. Patience whilst you're in the trade. Patience with your strategy. Patience while you're learning and growing, and then patience with market conditions. You see, we've got 5 distinct categories that I believe will cover all bases when we're looking at the emotion of patience and how that would relate to trading. So with that being said, let's go into number 1, and that is patience before entering a trade. Let me take you back and tell you a little story. There is a trader out there, very famous trader, and this trader will wait for months, if not years, before entering a trade. And why? Because waiting for that right opportunity. Now, this isn't going to suit everyone's style, right? Some people are going to want to trade multiple times a day, and that's absolutely fine if it works for you. But the point I'm trying to make here is that patience before entering a trade pretty much comes down to not going away from what your strategy is. So if your strategy is to be in and out the market 10 times, you be patient with those 10 times that you need to enter. If it's once a month, you have to have patience and wait, because the market will tempt you into opportunities every second and minute of the day, right? We're very reactionary, which means that having a plan and sticking to that and only entering when you need to is going to be the difference between your strategy working or not, right? And look, you don't have to wait months or years, but the fact that that can work means you don't have to be trading all the time. So that is the patience before entering a trade. And in actual fact, you will be, by doing this, by delaying that, you actually help you in other areas of your life, right? Because there is a little bit of a gratification when we enter a trade, right? There will be a bit of rush we get, a bit of dopamine. And delayed gratification will help you in all walks of your life. So it's not just trading, right? It's a mindset or part of a mindset that will help no matter what you are doing. Number 2, patience whilst we're in the trade. So this involves some other emotions as well. But in actual fact, all of the emotions that we talk about will involve other emotions, right? They're kind of linked, whether it's greed, whether it's fear, whether it's patience, excitement, right? They all intermingle with one another. So patience whilst you're in a trade is, let's think of it this way, right? You do the hard work. You enter after your conditions are met, right? So you've ticked box number 1, right? You've entered, you've done all the hard work, and the trade's maybe going your way or it's not going your way. Patience here is sticking to the plan. Patience here is, you've hit your take profit 1, and now you're closer to take profit 2 and take profit 3, or whatever your profit range is, right? And what you don't want to be doing is getting impatient, allowing fear to kick in, where you suddenly close at the trade only for it to go up, right? And hit your other profit targets. Let's look at the reverse, right? You enter the trade, you hit your take profit 1, and the trade starts reversing, you close it out early. The thing is, you have to be patient and allow things to work out, because if you don't, then you are again succumbing to other emotions, you're not being patient, and you're not giving a chance for things to work. So that is where patience in the trade is not just about waiting for your profit targets, but it's literally letting your stop hit if it has to hit. You know, that's just the way trading is. You've got to go through with you have to be patient, not just before entering, but once you're entered as well. That's another key aspect of patience. But that leads me on and segues beautifully into point number 3. That's patience with your strategy, right? And again, these are all interlinked, but what I wanted to do was use patience as an overarching emotion and kind of use it to look at all the lens of trading, right? And with that being said, patience with your strategy. Now, that doesn't mean you have a strategy and you've had, 99 stops and then 1 success, right? But then again, it could be 99 stops and then from there on you have 99 successes, but most likely that's not the case. What I mean here is that you have to have patience to see your strategy through, right? Because only that way will you be able to determine what works with your strategy and what doesn't work, okay? If you're not patient with your strategy or you add things in your strategy and you don't let them work, how will you ever know what is working and what's not working? So with that being said, patience with your strategy is seeing things through. And maybe if we want to be really specific, you're always hitting profit target 1, right? And then it's reversing. And if you do that enough times, you might notice a pattern where you go, hold on a second. If I actually flip what I'm doing, I'm actually catching a little bit of the trade, but then it's always reversing. So rather than entering the direction you think, you might be able to flip your strategy and go, wait a second, rather than, I'm buying because of my strategy or selling, mostly hitting take profit 1 and then it's reversing and going another way, you flip the script. So what you're doing is you're entering at your TP1 and you're going the other way, and it turns out now you've got a higher success rate. But had you not stuck with your strategy, you would never know that. So that is also very important. And you see how we're tying all these together, right? Patience before entering the trade, patience whilst in the trade, and then patience with your strategy. Patience all around, right? You must become one with the trading, right? You must become one with the markets, must become one with your strategy, right? You must see it through. And with that being said, and again, this is all linking perfectly, right? Because you must have patience, and this is point number 4, with learning and growing. And again, it's patience with your strategy, patience with hitting stops, patience with allowing things to run their course. And that is the only way you will learn and grow. In actual fact, patience to learn and grow is required no matter what you're doing in life, right? If you're playing basketball or soccer, football, depending on what country you come from. Why did I say soccer first? I'm from the UK. I know people from the UK are going to be like, why did you say soccer first? Anyway, the fact of the matter is that if you keep, missing your goals or missing a kick or missing the hoop, and you need to perfect that, it's going to require patience, isn't it? Learning and growing requires patience. Trading is no different, right? You're sitting at your desk and you're having to have patience with learning, growing, and making mistakes, kind of perfecting what you do, perfecting the craft. So again, this kind of ties all together, given, not just sound bites here, but actionable advice, things that you can go away and write down in your trading journal and think, okay, was I patient with my entry today? Number 1. Was I patient with my stops and my take profits? Number 2. Was I patient with my strategy? Maybe you added a change to your strategy. Number 4, was I patient in the sense that I was learning something or I seen a mistake and trying to rectify it, so I implemented something new? Was I patient with it, right? So again, these actionable insights, actionable advice will help to cover patience, note it down in your journal and be able to learn and grow, right? And the last one, which is completely out of your control, but if you get the first 4, not right, because you can never get anything right, but if you get the first 4 and you start thinking about patience in those terms, what will happen is the 5th one won't seem as bad, and that's patience with market conditions. You might be better at buying at certain points, and the market just keeps going down and down and down. And at that moment, you have to be patient with market conditions. But if you can then adapt your strategy because you're patient with your learning and growing, and you can adapt to those kind of market conditions, then guess what? That patience has allowed you to overcome adverse market conditions that go against your type of strategy or your type of trading, because the market isn't going to always behave the way you want, right? It's like, it's not about trading what we think, but it's about trading what is in front of us, trading what is happening. And to do that, to trade any market condition, you must have the first four things in place, right? Because you will go through cycles in the market, you'll go through ups and downs, you'll go through prolonged bearish or bullish sentiment, whatever it may be. There's a whole range of things that can happen in the markets. And that is why if you have patience with those first four things, you do those first four things, note them in your journal. The fifth one, you will be able to sail through, right? Because you'll be able to adapt. And that is episode number 2 of Patience. And next week, what we're going to be doing is talking about fear. So we talked about greed, we talked about patience, fear's coming next, and then we've got another episode for you guys. That's a wrap. I'm out. It's your boy, GTS.